Online people, can you hear me? Online? Can you respond in chat? Yeah, perfect. So the last few sessions, anyone who is joining from today onwards, just wait, we can talk. Okay, end of the session. We completed like 5 sessions, right? We completed like 5 sessions. Those 5 sessions we discussed about HTML and CSS basics. HTML and CSS basics. Okay. So today onwards, our actual React sessions are going to start. Okay, let's go with one small requirement. My requirement is very simple thing. Render hello world. Okay, let's start with hello world program only. Render hello world inside the browser using React. Hello world inside the browser using React. That's my requirement. Very simple requirement. Okay, first let's start with HTML. This is not our requirement. Let's start with HTML and then let's start with JS. That is also not our requirement. And then we can start like with the React. Let's start with HTML. Tell me how we can do. I want to render hello world, okay, by using HTML inside the browser. Come on, what we have to do? Come on, what we have to do? First, you have to create one HTML file or not. One HTML file. Okay, dot to HTML file you can create. After that, come on. I want a hello world with bold and big font size so that inside that one I can write like hello world, close my H1. Done. Now, after running this one, what happened? Inside the browser, hello world is going to display. Everyone knows this one. Okay, this is not my requirement. Leave it. Let's go with the JavaScript one. Let's go with the JavaScript. Tell me how we can. Document dot write. Okay, that is one way. Another way. See, by default in your browser, how many tags are going to load? Come on, HTML. The next one is what? Head. The next one is like what? Body or not? Yes or no? These three tags are going to display. Among these three tags, which tag content is going to visible to the end user? I have three tags are there. Okay, directly which tag content is visible to the end user? Body, right? Whatever my body has, okay, that is visible to the end user or not? Yes or no? Everyone knows, right? Whatever my body has, that is visible to the end user or not? Now, if you want to show this particular hello world to the end user, this content should place inside the body, then only it is visible to the end user or not. Otherwise, it is not visible. Yes or no? So that I have body, my body is nothing but entire browser space. I don't want that much space. I need some part of, okay, in the body, some part of space I required. So inside the body, can I take like one div? Simply. Div is which kind of element? It's a block level element so that it's take like what? Here to here width or not. Okay, now inside the body, I have some space. That space is what? Div now. Inside this div, if I place my H1, now directly or indirectly my H1 inside where? Inside the body or not? Then that time it is visible to the end user or not? Yes or no? So that the first thing is like inside the body, I need some space. That is the first thing. Once you have the space, inside that space, what we have to keep? You have to keep your H1 or not. With which content? Hello world content or not? That is my requirement. Okay. So inside the body, I need some space, right? Terminology wise, that space, can I say like a container now onwards? Container is nothing but what? It's a space, right? Yes or no? Okay, we can keep something inside that one or not. Inside this container, okay, I have to keep what? Inside this container, I have to keep what? Inside this container, I have to keep my H1 element or not? Yes or no? Once my H1 elements, if you keep inside this particular container, that container inside where? Inside the body, so that my body is visible to the end user. My body content is visible to the end user or not. So that is my requirement. Tell me. Now you can tell me the code wise how we can do it. Come on, anyone. So our workspace folder is what? This one, na? Can I create one folder like React? Can I create one folder like HTML? Okay, I'm going to add some programs here. Later, CSS. Can I create one more folder like JS? Okay, now let's go with React. Okay, here what we have to do? Either React or Angular or HTML, whatever it is, finally my file has to run where? In the browser, right? In the browser, which files are going to run? HTML files or not? So that first of all, I need one HTML file. Can I say hello world? Hello world.html? Yes or no? First requirement by using HTML. How we can write it? Can I write like this? Hello world? Yes or no? Okay, now can I run this one? How we can go to the file explorer path? Right click on this one. Which option? Reveal in file explorer or not? Click on that one. Now see the hello world. Now it is going to render hello world or not? This is by using HTML, but this is not our requirement, right? Leave it. Next one. Come on. I want by using JavaScript. What we have to do first? By using JavaScript, I want to render hello world. What we have to do? If I run this one, by default, how many tags are going to place? If I run this one, by default, how many tags, how many elements are going to place? HTML head to body. Inside the body, I need some space. So that I need a container first. So can I take the container? Okay, what is my container? Any element you can use it. Okay, I want to use like a div. So my div is a container now. Can you come here? Can I refresh the page? Now see, my div is placed inside where? Inside the body or not? Okay, am I told anything to my browser? No, my browser knows which element has to place where. Understood or not? Okay, inside the body you have to place or inside the head you have to place. My browser knows that one. Okay, done. Now inside the body, I have a container now. I have a container. Inside this container, what we have to place? Our content or not. So what is our content? Tell me. What is our content? Hello world is my content or not? So in the HTML, if you want to write JavaScript code or if you want to write CSS, where we can write? In the HTML, if you want to write the CSS, you can write like inside the style tag or not. My file extension is HTML. Whatever you written directly, that is like HTML only. If you want to tell this particular section is belongs to CSS, that particular section of code you have to place where? Inside the style tag or not. Same like that, if you want to tell this particular section is belongs to JavaScript, you have to place where? Inside the script tag or not. So in JavaScript, first thing is like I need some content. Okay, just I need some content. Tell me my content may be Sachin, my content may be hello world, whatever it may be. How we can store some content, how we can represent some data in any programming language, how we can represent the data. I have Sachin, how we can represent. I have hello world, how we can represent. I have 10, how we can represent by using variables or not. Yes or no. So that the first thing is like, I want to create some content. My content is like a hello world. Future purpose, I want to store within the variable or not. So how we can create the variable in JavaScript? How we can create the variable in JavaScript? The syntax is like what? There has multiple ways. The syntax is like this. The first one is like, you can write my variable name and variable value. This is valid syntax. Next, my type and variable name and value. This is also valid type. Okay, the next one is like type variable name. This is also valid. Now, if you want to check, just you can check it 2 minutes. Go to console, tell me, my name equals to Sachin, valid or not? This one variable name, this one variable value. Yes. Okay, the next one is like what? Where location, valid or invalid? Here, my where is like what? A type. Okay, a type. Can I click on enter? Okay, now see, it is valid or invalid? Valid. What is the default value for my location? You not assigned anything. What is the default value for the variable in JavaScript? Undefined. Undefined is the default value. The next one is like where runs equals to 20,000. It is valid or invalid? Now it is also 100% valid. These are the three syntaxes you can use it to store some data or not. Agreed. Here tell me, what is this where? You said like data type. In JavaScript, do we have any data type? Into, string, boolean like that? Do we have any specific data type like Java? Okay, in Java, if you want to create a variable which holds 10, how we can create? Int number equals to 10 like that. But in JavaScript, this kind of data types are not there. So you can say like in JavaScript, there is no type for the variables. Then what is this var? Okay, I said like data type, right? What is this var? Not only where, there has two more also there. What are those? Where is there, let is there, and a constant also there. These all are not representing the type of your data. It is tell something about the behavior of your variable. If you create a variable with where, that variable is behaving like a functional scope variable. If you create a variable like a let, that variable is behaving like a block level scope. If you create a variable like a constant, that variable also block level, which should not reassign. Understood or not? So where let constants, we can say terminology wise data types, but it is not representing your type of the data. It tells what the behavior of your variables or not. That's the reason. See, if I create a variable where name equals to Sachin, valid, right? Where name equals to 10, valid or not? Where name equals to boolean, valid or not? Where name equals to 10 comma 20, valid or not? Where name equals to n1 equals to 10, valid or not? Where name equals to one function, valid or not? See, is it like where is representing your type of the data? No. Yes or no? It tells something like what? Behavior of your variable or not. So tell me, how many possible types are there? Type is not there, but okay, possible types tell me. If you enclose your data with the double quote, that is string type. Now this is number type. This is boolean type. This is array type. This one an object type. This one a function type or not. Yes or no? These are like possible data types or not. In JavaScript, if anybody asks, okay, there is no type for the variable. But if you mention like where let constant, it is not representing the type of the variable. It tells something about the behavior of your variable or not. That is the answer you have to tell. Understood, everyone? So can I create a variable now? Okay, how we can create a variable? Come on. Where? What is my variable name? You can put like A, B, C, D like that also you can put it. But naming convention is important. Tell me, my hello world, this is my content, right? Hello world, this is my content or not? So what is my variable name you want me to give? Can I put like content only? Anything wrong with this? Instead of put like A, B, C, D, can I put like content? Okay, done. Now I have a content. So this is my content. Can I say like content? Okay, in JavaScript, if you want to comment lines, which is not, okay, which is like escape from execution, then you can put like what? Single line comment, just put like 2 slashes. Whenever you put like 2 slash, okay, that particular code is not execute. Okay, it's a kind of comment, single line comments. Multi-line also we have, okay, we can say like this. Here, in between, you can write any number of lines of code. Those lines of code will not execute. Understood, everyone? Okay, done. Next one, tell me. You have the content. Next step is what? I have a content. This content where we have to place? Inside this container or not? This container where it is? Inside the body or not? If it is inside the body, that is visible to whom? To the end user or not? Yes or no? So that I have a content I want to place inside the container. In JavaScript, if you want to perform any operation on any element, first of all, you have to get what? That element reference or not. So tell me how we can get the element reference. This element reference I want. Come on, get the container reference. Get the container reference. How we can get the container reference? Come on. Already we discussed one way, right? Which element reference you want? Come on, go to the console. This div reference you want. So can I get the div selector? How we can get the div selector? Right click on this one. Copy selector. Okay, now go to the console. Tell me how we can get the reference of an element. We have one variable is there, document in JavaScript. It's a predefined variable. It represents what? All your HTML content or not. Can I open that one? If I open, HTML is there, head is there, body is there, inside the body div is there. Everything is there or not? There are multiple elements are there. My element also there or not there? So that from where you want me to take my element? Come on, all the elements in the document, including my element also. From where you want me to take it? From my document only or not? How you want me to take? You have a ID? No. Class name? No. I have a selector. If you have a selector, we have one method is there. Query selector is the method. Whatever the selector you copied, can you paste there? No. See, this is my element or not? Yes or no? Okay. Now, can I copy this one? Can I copy this one? Can I go here? Can I get the container reference? Yes or no? Now, this one gives me what? Come on, your container reference. Can I hold within one variable for future uses? Okay, how we can hold it? Come on. Where? Where? What is the reference? Okay, what is the variable name? Can I say container reference only? Yes or no? Proper names you can give it. This is the container reference only or not? Now I have the content. I have the container. Now what we have to do? The next step is what? Next step is what? My content render content inside where? Inside container or not? This is my next level step or not? I have to render this content inside this container or not? So tell me how we can render it? How we can render it? In the container reference, I want to keep one text so that, okay, you can use like inner HTML or inner text, you can use it. Can I place what? My content or not? Now my content rendered inside this container or not? Now, can you come here? Can I refresh my page? Now my hello world visible or not? Yes or no? This is how achieved by using JavaScript. But this is also not our requirement, right? Our requirement is what? By using React or not? Yes or no? By using React. Now tell me how we can achieve the same requirement by using React. Up to here, okay, everyone? Up to here, okay, everyone? Okay, then. Now tell me, here the steps are like common. What we have to do first? You have to prepare the content or not. So first question is how we can prepare the content in React. That is the first question or not. I want to prepare some content. How we can prepare the content or template in React? Tell me how we can. Already first today discussion. First today discussion. First today discussion. Okay, Kalam School, this format changed. Okay, just you can follow this. So, say this. How to prepare the templates in React or not? How to prepare the templates? First question is like what? Why we go for React? What's our answer? By using React, what we can do? By using React, we can prepare some templates which is rendered inside the browser or not. Or by using React in our web application, we are going to create or develop the client-side applications or not? Yes or no? In our web application development, which side application we are going to develop? Client-side applications or not? Yes or no? Now, by using React, I want to prepare some template. See, my template may be hello world this time. In future, there has a table. In future, there has a list. In future, there has whatever it is. Now, one line of code. In future, 100 lines of code also. What's wrong with that? Yes or no? That's the reason my first question is like what? How to prepare the content by using React. So, how we can prepare? One answer, tell me. How we can prepare the content by using React? Using, come on, using components or not? What is our next level question? Come on, we can prepare the content by using component, you said. What is our next level question? How we can prepare the, or how we can create the components in React or not? That is only the next level question or not? Okay, my answer is like, we can prepare or we can create the components in React two ways. Okay, how many ways we can create the components? Two ways. Okay, anyone knows? The first one is like, we can say like, okay, functional components. Another one is like, we can say like a class components. One is like what? Functional components. Another one is like what? Class components or not. Understood? Two questions. First one is like how we can prepare the template in React using components. How many ways we can create the components in React? Two ways. One is like what? Functional components. Another one is like what? Class components or not. Now, what is our next level question? Hey, tell me how we can create the functional component or not. That is only the question or not. How we can create the functional components. As part of our discussion, we are going to use our entire sessions. We are going to create functional components only. Why? Because the class components are like deprecated. Okay, class components are like deprecated. So that in our entire sessions, we are going to use like functional components only. So the thing is like how we can create a functional component in React or not. Understood? So that is our discussion. Very simple thing. How the function is looks like in JavaScript. Syntactically, my functional component also same like that only. So your thing is like first you have to learn what? How my function is looks like in JavaScript or not. You know how to create the variable, right? Can we discuss like how to create a function in JavaScript? Okay, tell me how we can create the function in JavaScript. Tell me the syntax. Come on, function keyword. The next one is what? Function name. Next, function representation and my function body. Here you can write like what? Some code or not. This is like a normal function. There has some other functions, ES6 functions also there. Those are like arrow functions. We'll discuss that one later. Okay, first comfort with the normal function. Okay, what is my function syntax? Function keyword and function name. And then function representation and function body or not. Now, can I create the same thing here? Tell me how we can. Go to console, create the function. Come on. Function. My function name. See, the helper also you can get it. Otherwise, if you don't want the helper, you can write like this. Function, the next one. Function name. That can be anything based on your requirement. The next one. The representation of the function. The next one. Okay, function body or not. If you want to come to the next line in the console, just click on the shift to enter. Don't click on the enter. If I click on the enter, then what happened? You know, that statement is going to execute. If you want to come to the next line, just click on the shift to enter. Now, in between, I want to write some code. So that can I click on again, shift enter? Yes or no? Now here, can I write like console.log off? Okay, simply fn called. Yes or no? Now, if I click on enter, syntactically it is valid or not? 100% valid. If it is not valid, you can see the error is like what? Syntax error or not? Did you get any syntax error? No, right? So that it is 100% valid. If you have a function, okay, if you have a variable, what we can do with? If you have a variable, what you can do with that? You are the developer. Okay, if you have a variable, what you can do with that one? That variable value, you can use it. Yes or no? If you have a function, what you can do? If you have a component, what you can do? If you have a class, what we can do? Now tell me, if you have a function now, what you can do with that one? When I can get the service from the function? whenever you call it or not, whenever you invoke it or not. So that if you have a function, if you keep like this only, there is no use. When I can get the services from the function? Whenever you call it or not. So how we can call it? Okay, fn. Okay, like this we can call it or not, function representation. Now if I click on enter, now my function body executed or not. Any programming language you can take it. If you see this code, any programming language, somewhere if you see like this, what do you think about my fn type? Any programming language you can take it. If you see this code, either Java, .NET, PHP, whatever it is, if you see the code like this, it is nothing but a calling a function. So that my fn should be what? My fn should be a function or not. Understood or not? My fn should be a function. Now, can anyone answer this question? What's your answer if I click on enter? If I click on enter, what's your answer? See, error messages are very, very important. Writing the code, anyone can write it. Fixing the bugs is very important. Tell me, if I run this one, what happened? A is not defined or not. Okay, when you can get this kind of errors? You are looking for one member, that member is not defined anywhere in the context or not. Is my A is defined anywhere in the context, in the console? No, right? My A is not defined or not. Now, if I write like my A equals to 10, what is the type of my A? It's a number type or not? If I write like this, what happened? If I write like this, what happened? I already told to you. Okay, if you see this code like this, my A should be what? My A should be what? Function. But my A actual value is what? Number. Is my number is a function? Then that time you can get like one error called as A is not a function. One type error, you get it or not? Here my reference error. Here my type error. Last session we discussed about the exception handling or not? Yes or no? So A is not a function. Anywhere if you see the error message is not a function, what do you think about that error? Is not a function. Anywhere if you see in your console, in your application, what do you think about that one? You are using as a function, but you not received a function or not? Yes or no? You are using the reference as a function, but the reference is not a function or not? Agreed with me? Understood? Most frequently you can see this particular error. Most frequently you can see this kind of errors also. Okay, if you see this error message, you should have to come to know like what kind of fix is required for that. Understood everyone? All are okay? Okay, then the next one, where, okay, x dot length. What is this one? Most frequently you can get this error in your applications. What is my x value? Undefined or not? Can I perform any operation on undefined in JavaScript? No. So that you can get like what? Cannot read property of undefined, reading length. If you see this kind of error, simply you can understand like what? You are calling length on undefined. So why this? You are calling length on undefined. That means this is undefined or not? You have to check what? Why the x value is like undefined, and you have to fix that bug or not? Agreed with me? Okay, error messages are very, very important. Okay, then now you know how to create a function. Now tell me how one function gives some value back. How one function will give some value back? By return statement, by returning or not. Now tell me, this is my function. This is my function. What is my return value of this function? What is my return value of this function? Did you find any return value here? There is no return value, nothing. Then what is the return value? Now if I click on enter, see it returns what? See, this less than symbol is there, right? Okay, wherever you see the less than symbol in your console, that is called as a return value, return statement. So my fn, is it written anything? Is it written anything? No, right? So what is the default return value? What is the default return value of the function? Undefined or not? The default value for anything in JavaScript is what? Undefined or not? Now, if I write something like this, if I write something like this, tell me what is the return value? 10. So that can I call my fn? when this body is going to execute, whenever you call it or not. Now, if I click on enter, now see my fn return value is like what? 10 or not. Okay, one function giving something to you. You can hold that one with one variable or not. So how we can hold it? Come on. This particular function gives me some value. Okay, how we can hold? How we can hold the value? By using a variable or not. So can I hold that one with one variable? So what is my n value? My n value is like 10 or not. Yes or no? This is the way you can create a function, and this is the way you can call a function. Okay, this is the way you can return a value from the function or not. Sometimes my function take what? Parameters or arguments also or not. That one we'll see later. For now, just hold it. Now let's come back to our discussion. Now come on. How we can prepare the content in React? How we can prepare the content in React? Come on, how we can prepare the content in React using components? How many ways we can create the components? Two ways. One is like functional. Another one is like class component. Class components are deprecated. So that can we go with the functional components? Functional components syntactically how it is looks like? How it is looks like? Functions only or not? How we can write a function? You can write a function. After that, my function name. Okay, after that, okay, hello, you can put it. After that, function representation. After that, my function body or not. Now I am telling like this particular one is like a component. Will you agree? Come on, I am telling like exactly this particular one is like a component. Will you agree with that statement? No, right? Whenever you see this particular statement individually, okay, what do you think in your mind? My hello is what your mind is like thinking about the hello function, right? In my mind, it is linking like what? It is a function or not? Yes or no? I am telling like what? This is like a component. This is like a component. Now you have to learn one more thing. This particular one plays like multiple roles. The syntax is this one only. It is playing like multiple roles. For example, my hello, if you use like this, what I can say now? Confidently, I can say like what? My hello is a function or not. Confidently, I can say like what? My hello is a function or not. For example, if I write like this, what do you think? If I write like this, what do you think? It is like a functional class or not? It is like a functional class or not? Now my hello is like what? You create an object for hello. This is which type of class? Functional class or not? In JavaScript, there has two types of classes are there. One is like class keyword, another one is like function. Oops, concepts will discuss. Okay, whenever the workshop, already I shared that links, right? If you have time, you can go through that one. So if I call like this, if I use like this, I can say this is what? I can say this is what? Function. Confidently, I can say. If I use like this, I can say this is like what? It is like a functional class or not. But this hello you want me to use as a function, as per your requirement, you want me to use like a function? No. This hello you want me to use like a class? Yes, sir. You want me to use like a class? No. How you want me to use this particular function hello? As a component or not? Now my question is, I want to use this one like a component or not? So tell me, if it is a function, I use it like this. If it is like a class, I use it like this. If it is like a React component, how I can use it? That is the question or not? Understood? Now tell me how we can use this hello. How my React component is looks like. Very simple thing. Whenever my hello in the element format, how? Whenever my hello in the element format like this, I can say my hello is like what? It is like a component or not? There has two types of syntaxes are there. One is like self-closing element. Another one is, can anyone tell me? Another one is my open and closing like this or not? Understood everyone? Okay, if you use like this, I can say what? This is a function. If I use like this, I can say what? This is a class, but I don't want to use like a function. I don't want to use like a class. I want to use like what? Component. If you want to use like a component, how we can use it? In the element format or not? Understood, everyone? Everyone agreed? And one more point you have to remember here. My component is always like in the element format. That should have to start with capital letter. That one you have to keep in your mind. My component is always like in the element format. That should be in the capital letter or not. Starts with the capital letter. Okay, na? Everyone okay? Okay, then. Now, tell me this component where it is going to render. Finally, this component where it is going to render. Browser only, right? Browser only or not? Now see, my hello is this one. If I use like this, is it gives me any error? Is it gives me any error? No, right? That means what? My browser knows how to use this hello as a function or not. Yes or no? My browser knows how to use this particular one as a function or not. Agreed with me all? Or? Okay, perfect. Next one is what? New. Come on. New hello. Is it gives me any error? No, right? That means what? My browser knows how to use this hello as a class or not. Yes or no? Okay, then. The next one is what? Come on. Hello. Can I click on enter? Is my browser knows? Is my browser know? My browser don't know or not. My browser by default know how to use this one like a function. By default know how to use this one like a class. But by browser don't know how to use this one like a component or not. If my browser don't know how to use this one like a component, where it is going to render? It should have to render where? Inside the browser only or not. But my browser don't know. Then how? Then how? Can we take some other person help? Okay, that person is going to tell to my browser, hey, don't throw any error. This is like a component like that. Some other person help, can we take it to recognize this one like what? A component or not? Who is that guy? Some other person help is required or not in this case? Yes or no? Everyone agreed? Okay, then let me write that one. We have a component. This is my component. Tell me, this is which kind of component? Come on, functional components. My component always starts with like a capital letter. Why? Because I have to use like element format. Starts with what? Capital letter or not. Now, this is my browser. If I use this particular hello, okay, like this, directly my browser can understand this one and render inside the browser or not. Yes or no? There is no problem at all. If I use like this, okay, new hello, this is what? Class. My browser by default know how to use this one like a class or not, so that directly it is going to render or not. If I use the same thing like an element format like this, okay, this is my element format like this. If I directly render inside the browser, it gives me what? An error or not? Yes or no? Before rendered into the browser, in between, can we take some other person help? That guy is going to tell to my browser, hey, don't throw any error. Just recognize this one like what? A component or not? Yes or no? Some other person help is required or not? For what purpose? For what purpose? To recognize this one like a component or not. Who is that guy? Means we have one library is there. That library called as a React library or not. Understood? So why we go for React library? What is the purpose of React library? By using React library, my browser can recognize the components or not. If that React library is not there, okay, my browser not able to recognize this one like a component or not. Now you can ask a question. You said like library, right? What is that library? What is library? Come on, what is library? Anyone? Come on, what is library? In JavaScript, what is library? Very simple thing. My library is like a normal, simple JavaScript file. More than that, nothing. It's a simple JS file. Okay, you also create one JS file. That one you can use like what? Library or not. The same JS created by some other person also. That one also you can use like a library or not. So my JS, one JS file you can say like a library. What my JS file can contains? My JS file contains what? Tell me. One JavaScript file is there. That JavaScript file contains what? Come on, variables, right? Possibilities, tell me. Next, functions, right? Yes or no? Next. Okay, if you have a classes, sometimes we have a classes, right? The class contains what? Again, variables and methods or not. Any JavaScript file you can take it. You can see these things only, right? Yes or no? Maybe one variable, maybe 100 variables, maybe one function, maybe 100 functions or not. So that my JS file which contains what? Variables, functions, some classes also or not. Yes or no? My JS file may be created by you or some other person also. Now the next step is what? Come on. I want to use that library. I want to use that library. How we can use it? If you want to use one variable, that variable inside another JS file, first of all, you have to get that JS file, right? You have to get that JS file or not. So first thing is what? Get it. Okay, now in your hand, that JS file is there. Next thing is what? Next thing is what? You have to load it, right? Whenever you load, then only my variables gets create or not. Otherwise, it's a matter of code. That's it. Yes or no? You have to load it or not. Once you load it, and then you can use it. Yes or no? Okay, first of all, you have to find that JS file. And then, okay, once you have the JS file, you can find and get it. And then load that JS file. And then use that JS file or not. Yes or no? Understood, everyone? Now tell me, I need one library to recognize my hello as a component or not. Yes or no? Which library is required? Which library is required? React library is required or not? Who created this React library? Okay, some other people created or not? Who is that guy? Who created that library? My Facebook people created or not? Yes or no? Okay, now you are able to directly use that library without paying any amount. That means what? That library is what? It's a open source one or not? Understood or not? Okay, so can I say my React is like what? It's a simple library which is used for what? To create your user interface or not? Like this also you can tell it or not. User interface is nothing but directly my user can interact with that one or not, which is loaded inside the browser. Yes or no? So that now, can I get that React library first? Okay, and then can we load that one? And then can I use it? Yes or no? Okay, get that library first. How we can get it? First come here. In this particular one, my React library loaded or not loaded? First confirm me. How we can confirm? In this particular one, React library loaded or not loaded? Not loaded. Show me that proof. Prove me. How we can? Come on. See, very simple. Whenever you load one URL, for that particular URL, okay, how many files and folders are required? My browser get it and store in which tab here? Source tab or not? So that can I go to the source tab? Okay, network tab and source tab. The difference is what? Network tab, track, request and responses. See, clear the network tab. Can I refresh it? Now see this, my browser send one, how many requests? One request. So which file? To which file? Hello world.html or not? And get the response or not? See this, this is my response or not? Yes or no? My request and response, where we can track in the network tab. Response, whatever you have, where it is going to store in the file explorer format? In the source tab or not? So can I go to the source tab here? File e my classes react hello world.html stored or not? If it is in the browser, then only my browser can use it, right? If it is not in the browser, how my browser is going to use? Agreed, everyone? Come on. So that my hello world.html is there. Is my React library is there? Is my React JS library is there? Is it loaded? Not loaded, right? Yes or no? This is one way of checking. Another one is like, if it is really loaded, I can use what? I can use the variables, I can use the functions, I can use the classes and everything or not. Yes or no? Component leave it. I'm talking about the JS file. So that in that particular React JS file, we have one variable is there. My variable name itself React only. Can I click on enter? Now tell me, React there or not there? Not there, right? Not there, right? Yes or no? So that what we have to do? So that what we have to do? You have to get that JS file, you have to load it, and then we can use it or not. So can we get that JS library? Okay. Okay, then. Now let's go to Google React library download. Okay, from where we can get it, I will tell. For now, just you can use this. Okay. I'm going to share you the link. Okay, from there you can download. For now, just you can see this. Okay, see this. Okay, this website is like old one, legacy.reactjs.org. The new website for React is like react.dev is the website. After that, we'll go in this particular one. CDN links are there, right? Content delivery through network. Can I click on this one? Don't think more about this one. Okay. Now, if you come here, see there has HTTP UNTKG okay .com. At last, you can find like the extension is like JS or not. Yes or no? Voice is breaking. All in people, can you hear me? Is it okay now? Is my voice is clear? Breaking. Uh, okay, just wait for 2 minutes. Okay. Is it okay now? Online? Okay, then let's come back to our discussion. So this is our CDN link, right? This is our CDN link. How we can get this link, I will tell you. For now, just it is like a CDN link which contains what? Your React related, my Facebook people okay, written like some variables, some file, okay, some functions, some of the classes also they written or not. So can I copy this link first? Can I copy? Can I open in your tab? Simply open this one. Now, if you observe here, see this. All variables what they created, you can see. Okay, there has some functions also they created. If there has some classes also, those classes also we can find it or not. This much code who written? This much code who written? My Facebook people already written or not? Yes or no? Now if you observe here, the copyrights or belongs to whom? Facebook people or not? The current React version here what? 18.3.1 or not? This version we are going to use it. So this JS file, two ways you can use it. Directly CDN links you can use it. Otherwise, you can copy, okay, you can save this one or copy paste in your JS file, or you can save this JS file. If the internet is not available also, you can work with this one or not. So that I prefer like just I want to save this one in my local machine. So that how we can save it? Very simple. Right click on this one. That's it. Now here there has one option. You can find it. What? Save as option. You can find it. Now can you go to our workspace folder? Where is our workspace folder? Go there and save it. Okay, my classes. Ours is like what? React. In this which folder? React folder. Can I save React development.js? Okay, don't change the name. If you want to change the name like React only, you can change it. Otherwise, just you can keep like that only. Now, if you come here, see my React development.js, there or not there. Okay, perfect. Now, this particular JS file in my local machine in the React folder. Is it loaded or not loaded whenever you run the HTML file? Is it loaded or not loaded? Come on, loaded or not loaded? Can I refresh again? Can I go to the source? See, is it loaded or not loaded? Not loaded, right? In your local machine, that file is there, but that file I want to load at the time of hello world.html or not. So how we can load it? That is the question. How we can load one CSS file in your HTML? By using link tag. How we can load one JS file in your HTML? By using script tag or not? So that can I go and load that particular JS file? Okay, how we can load it? Come on. Okay, script source equals to source is an attribute. It is pointing to your JS location. What is my JS location? Okay, React development.js. Within the same folder only we have. No need to mention dot to dot relative paths. Leave it. Now, can I save this one? Can I save this one? Now, can I go to my browser again? Can I go to my network? Okay, observe now. If I refresh the page, my browser send how many requests now? My browser send two requests or not? For which files? One is like your, come on, one is like your hello world.html file. Another one is like react development.js file or not. These files, where it is going to store? If it is like a successfully get the response, where it is going to store in the browser? In the source tab or not. So can I go to my source tab, observe my hello world.html is there, my react development.js also there. How many lines of code they written? My Facebook people, there has around 3k lines of code they written or not? 3k, above 3k lines of code they written or not? Now tell me, my browser has the React library or not? Okay, now can I go to my console? Can you check it now? In the past, one variable you checked, right? What is that variable you checked? React. That time, what error you get it? React is not defined. Now, can you check it? My React, is it gives me any error or something else? It gives me something else or not? There is no error or not? Now, can I confirm my browser has the React library or not? Yes or no? So that now if you come here, Now my React library loaded inside the browser now. What it is going to do? By default, my browser don't know about this particular hello, recognized this hello as a component. Now my React is going to help to my browser or not. Now my browser can understand what my hello is like a component or not. Agreed with me? First step is okay. Okay, by using React library, we can recognize this particular hello as a component. Understood? Okay, then. Now shall we go to the next one? Yes. Come on. What is the purpose of this component? Why we go for component? Tell me. Why we need this component? Come on. How we can prepare the content in React? Components. Then why we go for component? To prepare some content, right? To prepare some content or not? What is the content as per our requirement? Hello world is my content or not? So that can I prepare this H1 hello world? Hello world? Yes, done. Now this is one line. In future, maybe 100 lines also. What's wrong with that one? Yes or no? You prepared content. Now tell me, if this content keep with my hello, how we can render inside the container? Is it possible? You have some content. If you give it to me, then only, right, I can render inside the container. If it is keep inside the hello only, how that particular content rendered inside the container? Possibility there or not there? Not there, right? Now, my component has some content. That's okay. That content you want me to keep with the component? That content you want me to keep with the component? No, right? My component has to give that content, then only rendered inside the container or not. Now tell me how one component gives some value back. How it looks like function. How one function gives some value back. Return or not. That's the reason you should have to return your content or not. Understood, everyone? Agreed with me? So that my simple component is ready or not. Yes or no? Two things you have to keep in your mind. You have a content. That content should have to return it back or not. Then only the purpose of the component is what? Content rendered inside the browser. The content is not given back. What you want me to render inside the browser? Nothing is there to render or not. So that whenever you create a component, make sure your component should return the content back or not. Understood, everyone? All are okay online? Come on. Okay, you prepare the content using what? Come on, prepare the content using components or not. Prepare some content. Agreed, everyone? Okay, done. Now you have to focus on this area. This area now, very, very important. Listen. You have to focus on what? Line number 12. Line number 12. Now, let me take this line number 12 individually. Just I'm going to keep here. Then the time, what do you think about this line number 1? This is a HTML code, right? This is the HTML code or not? My HTML code H1, hello world, close my H1. That's it, right? This is like HTML code or not? But whenever you use some code to prepare the content inside the React component, now onwards, you should not call this one like a HTML. You have to call like a JSX. Can I repeat again? Whatever the source code you used, whatever the code you used, now one line, in future, I don't know. Whatever the code you used to prepare the content inside the React component, that code now onwards, you have to call like what? JSX or not. Understood or not? Okay, now tell me, line number 12, it looks like HTML only, but I have to call like what now onwards? JSX or not? Why you have to call like a JSX? This is the code you use to prepare the content inside the component or not? Okay, this one, what you can say, line number 3. Line number 3 is what? HTML only or not? Why? Because that is not inside the component, right? Yes or no? Now this is called as what? JSX or not? Understood, everyone? So my JSX stands for, anyone? JSX stands for, come on, JavaScript and XML. JavaScript and XML. My JSX stands for what? JavaScript and XML. It is the combination of three things. It is the combination of what? Three things. What are those? You know, it may be HTML. Okay. It may be XML. It may be JavaScript. My JSX may be what? HTML. Maybe what? XML. Maybe what? JavaScript also or not. Now, first one satisfied or not? Now my JSX is what? HTML, right? HTML code only or not? Yes or no? So whatever the code you written to prepare the content inside the React component, that code we can say like a JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript and XML. It is the combination of HTML, JavaScript, XML. It may be only HTML. It may be combination of three, any one of this one. Now, the difference between JSX and HTML, the difference between JSX and HTML, you can see. JSX and HTML. Why? Because HTML is going to run where? In the browser or not? Yes or no? Directly my browser knows how to render the HTML or not? Yes or no? HTML stands for everyone knows hypertext markup language. Compilation there or not there? There is no compilation or not. There is no compilation or not. Here my JSX has the compilation. That is the main difference. Understood or not? Okay, now my HTML not having the compilation. My JSX has what? Compilation or not. Now come to this one now. My component recognized. Inside the component, what we have? Come on. Inside the component, what we have? JSX. Is my browser knows how to compile the JSX? My browser don't know. My browser knows only three things. What are those? Render HTML, apply the CSS, perform some actions with the JS. Other than that, my browser don't know anything. In that case, how my browser knows about how to compile the JSX? Is my browser knows about the compilation of JSX? But my JSX requires what? Compilation or not? My browser don't know. My JSX requires compilation. Then what we have to do? Some other person help is required or not? Now, some other person is going to help to my browser to compile what? JSX or not? Who is that guy? Come on, who is that guy? There has one more library. That library called as a Babel. That library called as what? Babel is the library. Okay, tell me, why we go for Babel library? To compile your JSX content or not. By default, my browser don't know how to compile the JSX content. So that my Babel library is going to help to my browser to compile or not. Tell me, my Babel library there or not there in the browser? How we can check it? Prove. Okay, not there you said. Okay, how we can check it? Come on, multiple ways. Go to the source. Babel there or not there? There or not there? Babel loaded or not loaded? Not loaded. Go to the console. Another way. Tell me. Can you check for Babel variable? It is there or not there? Not there, right? Not there, right? So that what we have to do? Can I get the Babel library? Can I go to the Google? Can I get the Babel library? Let's go. Okay. Babel standalone CDN. Okay, don't worry. Don't think more about this one. I will tell you from where exactly these links you can download. Okay, na? Now come here. Now see this. There has script source equals to babel min.js file is there or not there? It is a CDN link, right? I don't want to use the CDN link. Can I open in my tab? Can I save this one? Can I save as? Finally, save in your local. Yes or no? Now can I go here? Now see my babel min.js there or not there? Is it loaded or not loaded? Not loaded, right? In my local machine, it is there. My file, you have to load that one or not. How? Script source equals to babel min.js or not? Agreed? Now, can I go to my browser? Can I go to my browser? Can I go to my network? Can I refresh my page? Now my browser sent how many requests? See that hello world.html, React development.js, Babel min.js. 3 requests my browser sent or not? Past previous 2 requests. Okay. Now can I go to my source? Now observe my hello world is there, Babel min.js is there, React development.js is there. Yes or no? Can I check one more here? How we can check it? Can I write like a Babel? Now in the past you get the error is like what? Babel is not defined. Now it is something else or not? Understood everyone? Okay, how many libraries so far added? 2 libraries added. First one is for what purpose? To recognize that particular hello as a component. It helps to my browser. My component gives me what? Returns me what? JSX content. My JSX content should compile. My browser don't know again. Who helps to my browser again? My Babel library or not? Agreed with me all or? Okay, finally, this one recognized like a component. This one already compiled. So you have error-free code or not? Compilation that means what? There is no syntax, nothing or not? You have error-free code or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, now you loaded Babel, right? You have to write one more line of code. What you know? This script, whatever you written, okay, how it is going to compile? By default, my type is what? Can anyone guess? My text JavaScript. Like this, it's going to compile or not? By default. Okay, now onwards, you want me to compile with JavaScript or want me to like Babel? Babel or not? That code change, you have to do it. Understood or not? Agreed. My Babel JSX. JSX include what? JavaScript also included or not? Yes or no? So that instead of JavaScript, you have to use what? Babel or not? Agreed. Now, this one recognized like a component. This content also compiled. That means you have a error-free content or not. That content you have to render where? That content you have to render where? Inside the container or not? Yes or no? You have to render that content inside the container or not. What is that container? Come on. The container is what? Div, right? Div is my container or not? Yes or no? Now I have a compiled JSX content. That JSX content rendered inside where? Come on, rendered inside where? Container or not? Normal content, how to render inside the div, my browser knows. Now this is normal content, JSX content, React component content. React component content is my browser knows about the React component content, how to render. Again, my browser don't know. Then some other person help is required or not? For what purpose now? For what purpose now? Render your component content inside the container or not? Yes or no? Who is that guy? Come on, some other person help is required. Who is that guy? This time, okay, that person is like React DOM is the library. What is that library? React DOM is the library. Now tell me one line answers. React purpose is what? To recognize a component. Babel purpose is what? To compile your JSX content. React DOM purpose is what? To render your component content inside the container or not. Yes or no? So that React DOM library is required or not? Okay, tell me, React DOM library there or not there? How we can check again? In the source, React DOM is there? React DOM is there? No. Can I go to the console? Okay, check for React DOM. React DOM is there? No, right? So that, can we get that React DOM library? So here, if you come, see, there has a React library is there. There has one more library also there. What is that? Can you read that name? React DOM.development.js or not? So can I copy this one? Can I get that JS content? Can I save that one in my local machine? Done. It is saved or not? Once it is saved, the next step is what? Tell me, next step is what? One minute. Online, can you hear me? Is it okay or voice is breaking? Online, breaking, right? Okay. Okay, come back. So can you hear me now? Is it okay? Still it's breaking. Still it's breaking. No, yes. That means breaking or it is okay. 90%. Okay, then we'll continue remaining things in tomorrow's class. Okay. Up to here, up to here, you can complete from your end if it is okay. Otherwise, we can discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, then. Thank you, guys.